Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, we've gathered for another Streets of New Capenna spoiler video. This time, we're talking about goofy and funny cards, and we're starting out with exotic pets. This is a very goofy card. 1 blue, 1 white, and 1 for an instant that creates 2 1/1 blue fish creature tokens with this creature can't be blocked. Then for each kind of counter among creatures you control, put a counter of that kind on either of those tokens. This is a strange card. First of all, it's a little bit odd to me that it doesn't make white-blue creatures, considering it is a white-blue instant. But, you know, them being 1/1 blue fish isn't that big a deal. But why are they unblockable, right? We've got exotic pets. These things, presumably, are kept in a fish tank, right? So it's kind of the opposite of they can't be blocked. It's more like they can't go anywhere. Why do they not have Defender or something along those lines? Are they literally leaping up out of the aquarium and flying around? Like, how does that work? Also, why do they gain the abilities of every creature that you have out in terms of specific counter abilities, right? Because it's not just +1/+1 counters, but if you have, let's say, a flying counter for a strike counter, because we saw back in Ikoria, they introduced a ton of ability counters, right? So these fish would gain all of those abilities. I guess kind of in a way that might explain how they're able to leap up out of the fish tank. I have gained your ability of flight and your ability of first strike. I shall destroy the world. But even with all that, these fish are 1/1. So how much can they do? How can they take somebody out without getting taken out themselves? It's hilarious, right? You look at the artwork, you can see them. They've got these little like black masks on. I absolutely love the actual designs of the fish because they have that kind of crazy non-nature, almost looking like they're painted design. Something that you wouldn't naturally see, which makes you wonder, are these sort of like specially magically created pets? The flavor text says, investigators observed that Antonio's beloved fish were thriving after his disappearance. And obviously, when they're going with Antonio, it's so close to Antonio. Come on, give me a break. Why'd you? Oh, this is Capenna. We're so far removed from Earth. We don't have Antonios. We have Altonios. Get it? It's an alternate Antonio. It's just goofy to me, right? This card is absolutely hilarious and silly, and I'm very glad that they made it because it's a great lead-in to talk about a number of uncommons and uncommons that have incredible flavor and are goofy, but really didn't make it into a spoiler video because of power level, right? So, the next card we're going to talk about that's silly is Luxurious Libation. This is 1 green and X for an instant that says target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. Create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Now this is interesting. We had a white-blue card that only made a blue token, and now we have a mono-green card that makes a white-green token. Kind of opposite flip side action going on. The flavor text says, crisp, flavorful, and energizing. Perhaps the most elegant offering of Halo in Park Heights. 5 stars. And I will give them this. That flavor text did, in a way, help to kind of expand on the feeling of New Capenna because it made me go, wait a minute, are there varying levels of freshness in terms of the Halo? Do you get Halo that's gone stagnant because it's like been taken out of an angel a long time ago? If you didn't know, Halo is made out of angelic essence. That is covered over in the story about Streets of New Capenna. And I have a 5-part series that will be linked up on the screen at the end of this video if you want to know the story of Capenna. But anyways, Halo is something that has a number of effects. It has a number of magical powers, but at the same time, it will just generally make you feel good. So people using it in this sort of party vibe makes perfect sense. But the reason this card gets even funnier to me, just the fact that it's 2 people clinking glasses and drinking juice made out of angels. You've got this scenario where when you really look at it, this is a low-key, go to a party, drink it up, go home with somebody, and make a person, right? Like, you're creating a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token after this. You're literally getting all haloed up and then maybe taking a stranger home and making a new citizen. And that's funny to me because it's just kind of thrown in there, right? If you don't think about it, you're like, okay, some kind of boost, and you go, wait a minute. Wait, the flavor of this is you're making that one person. That's amazing. Speaking of amazing, take a look at witness protection. This is so much fun. And honestly, feels really strong to me. My first reaction was, should blue really be getting this? But anyways, 1 blue for an enchantment or enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green-white citizen creature token with base power and toughness 1/1 named legitimate business person. How fun is that, right? It loses all the colors except being blue. It loses its card types, its creature types, and straight up just becomes a legitimate business person citizen token. That is such a fun concept from a flavor perspective. But from a power perspective, this is literally 1 blue to shut down any creature. You can just turn anything into a 1/1. Yeah, if they can get rid of the enchantment, they can use it still. But really, this feels super potent. I mean, up until now, we would see these kind of effects for at least 2 or 3 mana. 1 blue to almost X out one of your opponent's creatures. Sure, it's still a 1/1, but how much is that going to do? It's going to take 20 turns of getting poked for that to destroy you, right? And the artwork is really, really cool. You've got these shadowy figures walking one way. You've got the individual who's under witness protection, who's got his like bowler hat and his cane, but you've got these magical masks floating around him. So it is like hiding his identity, but also binding all of his powers. Like, how amazing is that as a concept? This is a really cool card. Between this and exotic pets, they're the reason that I actually chose to make this video, because they are the 2 coolest. The Luxurious Libations is a lot of fun, and so is the other stuff we're going to talk about. Let's move on. We've got Unlucky Witness. 1 red for a 1/1 human citizen. When Unlucky Witness dies, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until your next end step, you may play one of those cards. And obviously, this is something that's going to go great with the new casualty ability from New Capenna, right? Where, oh, hey, look, you sacrificed me, you get these abilities. It's funny to think that you're literally summoning up someone who's known for being unlucky. I'm summoning you up to witness something that's going to go poorly for you. It's a weird, clunky kind of flavor, but also a lot of fun. The flavor text says, the guard took a midnight shift to earn a promotion. Unfortunately, so did the assassin. And you can see in the artwork, at first you've got the guard, and he's here in this kind of shadowy alley that he's walking down. I really enjoy the lantern that he's carrying. That has this kind of like halo ring of fire in the middle. The fact that it's a halo and is on fire at the same time gives it an angelic and a demonic concept at the same time intermixed. And so it's emblematic of Capenna, which I very much enjoy. On top of it being absolutely hilarious that this guy's like, yo, I'm going to take an extra shift to try and pick up some extra money and ideally to get a promotion. And there's an assassin out there thinking the exact same thing. Yo, I got to pick up an extra shift. I got to make some extra cash, bro. And that means that this guy is hosed. And all you see are the 2 eyes in the shadows, the blade reaching up. I love that you can see the shadow of the blade too, because it's like, dude, if you just turn your head a little, you'd be fine, but you're totally done for, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? That is really fun and funny to me. Now, the last card we're going to talk about isn't actually technically goofy, depending on how you look at it, but it's so cool that I had to include it. Make Disappear. 1 blue and 1 for an instant with casualty 1, so you can sack a creature when you play it, and you get to cast it again, right? So, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, or if you sacked a creature, you're going to have to make them pay 4, which is really, really sweet, right? The idea of making somebody disappear makes perfect sense in a mob set, but look at the artwork itself. You can see the outline of somebody who looks like they've been forced. At first you look at it and go, was this somebody who's thrown through a window? But then you go, no, wait, it can't be, because look, there's 2 sets of shoes. This has to be an actual floor. So you have a floor where somebody was forcefully like pressed through it or cooked through it or whatever. Make them disappear, but leave this trace. What a horrific way to go. And also, the artwork, the blues and the reds that are around there on the floor make for very striking, eye-catching artwork. I really like this artwork a lot. So I mean, you could say it's kind of goofy in terms of like the pose and everything as well, but I thought that it fit within the theme of the video, and since we're talking about some stuff that wouldn't make a video in terms of power levels for the rares and mythics, this is the perfect place for this card to get a little bit of space to shine. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts, my friends. On the screen, there's going to be a link to all my Capenna spoiler videos and a link to all the Capenna lore. So get Capenna'd up, my friends. I will see you next time. Thank you to all of my patrons.